Hello, and welcome to another edition of Monroeville at your service. I'm your Municipal Manager, Alex Graziani, here with the November edition of our show. November is a huge month for our country, having just had another presidential election, and Thanksgiving this month as well. So, thank you for finding the time to watch our show. Here's a look at what's ahead. We'll take a look back at our Trail of Treats event held at the Community Park West. I'll have this month's Manager's Minute on the importance of budgeting, and I'll take a trip to our library's Maker Lab to give you a glimpse of all the many wonderful services it provides. You may be surprised by a few. But first, we want to talk about the library's neighbor, just across the parking lot. That's, of course, is the Senior Citizens Center. Joining me in studio today is the director of the Senior Center, Tara Grisock. Hi, Tara. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful. That name sounds familiar to some of our Monroeville residents. I think maybe somebody was involved in my hiring, like the mayor.
Maybe.
Are you related?
I'm his wife.
Oh.
The better half.
That's, of course, interesting. Many of the residents don't know that.
Yes.
So you've been with the municipality for 23 years. Of course, he hasn't been serving that long.
Right.
In our community, we have term limits, and he's served as a council member for 2 terms.
Yes.
And he's in his 2nd term as mayor.
Yes.
On a future edition, we'll get him on this show for sure.
Yes.
Tell him it's not bad. It's very easy.
I don't think he's shy of the camera.
I don't think so. He's done really well in what I've seen.
Yes.
So you've been with the municipality for 23 years. And my question to you and for the residents is, how did a girl from New York find her way to Pittsburgh?
Well, obviously I was brought here by Nick, the mayor. I met him when he was attending the New York Chiropractic College. I actually worked there as the assistant athletic director, and he used the facility and also was an employee of ours there. So I met him through there, and he was getting ready to graduate and asked me to come back with him to the Pennsylvania area.
Yeah, because he's from Punxsutawney over in Jefferson County.
He's from Punxsutawney. His sister at the time was living in the Pittsburgh area, in the Regent Square area, and he wanted to move. He went to Pitt too, so he obviously wanted to move to the Pittsburgh area to start his chiropractic practice, and he had asked me to come with him. I don't know if when he asked me to come with him if we were engaged yet, but shortly after that we became engaged. And my sister just happened to find an ad in the Post-Gazette at the time, because that's when jobs were posted in the newspaper, for the program recreation director here at the municipality of Monroeville. So I applied for that and was offered the job.
So you started out as a rec director,
rec
program
department.
director.
Yep.
Perfect fit, because you're a recreation kind of major in college.
Yep.
And you're working at that in the university setting.
Yeah.
So how do you make it to the senior center?
I had been with the rec department almost 4 years, and at that time, the director of the senior center was retiring. And I dabbled my feet working with seniors at the chiropractic college because it was open to the community, and during the day, the majority of the people that used that facility were seniors or retired adults. And it was going to be a promotion, like I was going to, become a department head. So I just took a chance and went with it. I was used to working with kids mainly, and college kids obviously, but so it was definitely scary going over there at first. But
So this was before even Nick was even on council.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you decided to take the leap to become a department head at the senior center, and what was that like?
Nerve-wracking at first, because I was, in my early 30s at the time, and I walk in and they're like, who's this young girl who's going to tell us how to run a senior center? So I did go there with some animosity from some of the people on the board, questioning whether I was going to know what to do.
They thought you needed some gray hair or something?
I guess so. But at the time, the municipal manager was Marshall Bond. Had faith in me. The senior center was at a turning point. A lot of what the baby boomer seniors wanted was different than what was happening there at the time. attendance was dropping, and he basically was like, it's your ride or die. You got to go over there and fix it, or we don't know what's going to happen to it. So I kind of went in there full force. And
yeah, that's fortuitous because you mentioned the boomers coming into the age of going to senior center.
Yeah.
And they're definitely, that demographic is much more active and really looking maybe not to do the bingo, bridge kind of activities that their parents had done.
yeah.
And so the senior center, did it change as that demographic moved in?
Absolutely. When I first went there, it was mainly run by social clubs. There were 4 social clubs, and they would do like a monthly luncheon and have like a bingo fundraiser, but that's all that was really going on at that time. But shortly after me getting there, we filed for a grant to expand the building and open a fitness center. I knew at the time that from working at the chiropractic college that health and fitness was the direction that some of the newly retired people wanted. So that was kind of my vision going in there, like bringing that aspect into the center. And that was 2008 that we opened the fitness facility and have expanded it like twice.
And that included like equipment at that time, or was equipment or things like that, things that you gradually got into?
No, it was equipment, and it was half the size it is now. You know, because I was definitely like, people aren't going to use it. But we were quickly astonished at how many wanted to use it. So we made it double the size, and I probably could even make it triple the size based on the amount of people that use it on a daily basis.
It is very active. In fact, the Silver Sneakers program, which people can take advantage of by having that through their health insurance and go to your facility and swipe their Silver Sneakers.
Yeah.
You're one of the top 10 in the state for attendance of the Silver Sneakers program, and that includes YMCAs, LA Fitnesses, all those kinds of for-profit or not-for-profit recreation facilities or fitness centers.
I think it is because it is strictly for that age group. Whereas if you go to LA Fitness or Planet Fitness, nothing against that, but you're mixed with all kinds of generations in there. In our fitness facility, you're working out alongside a person who's equal to you. And then, again, we do try very hard to make sure that the equipment in there is user-friendly for the population that's in there. And
you'll give anyone who's brand new to stuff, you'll introduce them to it.
Yes.
Give them some training to do the training.
They get a little bit more. So there, everyone's, given an orientation on how all the equipment works. Our fitness coordinator, Frank Lafredo, is very good at always being around and answering questions and helping the seniors with trying new pieces of equipment or trying new fitness classes and different things like that. So I think because they get more of a hands-on experience with the staff that's there.
Attentiveness.
The word spreads, and people like to come there for that.
Well, I've noticed 2 things about the senior center. One is it's very busy.
Yeah.
And 2, everybody really makes you feel like you're at home and is very welcoming. So I would imagine it's a great environment for someone who's new into things and wanting to try to get more active in lifestyle, that they'll be able to do that there.
Both the staff and members. Like if you're coming in as a new member, there are members that have been there for a long time and they kind of know you're new and they're very good at holding your hand through it. Because the first thing is always hard is walking through the front door and getting involved in something. But,
Well, the people are great there, and MMTV was able to talk to a few of your members, some of the people who hang out at the Senior Center. So why don't we take a look at that video to see what they think of the Monroeville Senior Center.
Once you come here, everyone's so friendly, and we share a lot of experiences together, and it's just a great place to be.
We come to every event. It's just, we're retired, but that isn't the reason. It's just very nice here.
I've seen other senior centers. I've moved to Monroeville 4 years ago from Westmoreland County, and this senior center here has such a great balance between the fitness activities and the social events that they put together for the participants. It's really impressive.
I would be lonely if I didn't come here. Really, I need to come here. There's so much activity. We could be here every day, I think. There's always something going on.
I love coming here. I look so forward to it, coming to every event here. The food's real good, and
I mean, the staff here is fabulous. They just know how to make it fun, and every detail is planned, and they just make it so enjoyable. That's why we keep coming back for more.
That was wonderful, Tara. So what do you think about that?
I think it's great. It's nice to get the positive feedback. Me and my staff, we always try to make every event that we do enjoyable and different every time. We're always conspiring when we have a new event coming up as how we're gonna decorate it and plan it out so that they're a little surprised when they get there. It's also nice to hear that they have positive feedback about both the fitness and the social aspect of what we do there.
Yeah, it was kind of cute because you and I watched this for the first time together, like
Right.
right now, and you'd mentioned that the one couple actually met at
Yes,
the
they
senior center.
did.
So who knows? There's a little bit of maybe a dating service that can happen there at the senior center.
Sometimes we do have quite a few couples that have, met there, which is cute to see. We love
Yeah.
seeing that.
Well, I loved how his reaction was about loneliness. That's a real issue in our country, and
Yes.
it's all age groups, but
Right.
particularly among the elderly. There can be a sense of when you get maybe out of the workforce,
Right.
or your family's to the four winds,
Right.
or maybe you're a widow or a widower.
Right.
Where do you get connection? And the senior center becomes like that third space or that special space where people make connections and
Absolutely.
get to meet people and have that socialization.
Yeah. I mean, there's not only couples, but people who meet friends. They come in lonely and they don't have many people around in their lives. Their kids have gone away, their spouse maybe passed away, and they meet a good group of social friends that hang out beyond just the senior center. So that always makes us feel good when we see that kind of
Now,
stuff.
our roving reporter was seemingly at an event.
Mm-hmm.
Those happen, monthly, frequently, different kinds of things. What
Yeah.
kind of events do you have there?
We do special events at least 2 to 3 times a month.
So I was there last week, just randomly. I can't help this, and it was
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
National Sweet Roll Cinnamon Bun Day or something,
Yes.
and you guys were handing out like big 400 or 500 calorie, wonderful looking sweet rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And I was offered one, but I didn't end up leaving with one. I'm really sad.
I know.
Yeah.
I asked them.
But you guys do fun stuff like that all the
We
time.
do. We do that once a month. We can't not give everything away for free. So we can't do every event for free or different things like that. But we at least try to do several things a month where it's no cost to the senior and it's fun. So we do that once a month. There's National Cinnamon Roll Day, which was what you saw. I think next month is Bagel Day. I don't know. Friday we always do seasonally Member Appreciation Day. So actually Friday we're doing Cotton Candy Day.
So now in these events, do you need to be a Monroeville resident? Do you have to sign up to get membership? Or is the membership just if you're doing the physical equipment? How does this all work?
You do have to be a member to participate in any of our activities.
Okay.
Unless there are some things that are open events, and it would specify that. But the majority of the things you do need to be a member for. You can join whether you're a resident or a non-resident of Monroeville. It is
50, 55, 60?
50.
Oh, so I can become a member.
Yes, you could. It's 50 and over. If you're a Monroeville resident, it's free to join the center. There are memberships to use the fitness room if you're under the age of 65. But if you are 65, a Monroeville resident, it's free to use the fitness facility and become a member of the center. Non-residents, if they are Silver Sneakers member, it's free. All those fees are waived.
Oh, okay. So if they're living in another community and they have the silver
Yes.
sneakers, they can still go there.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, you don't know. You do know this because you're helping me with it. And maybe this is probably the first time I'm making the announcement of it. We are in the process of working out agreements with Renew Active and Fit on Health, which are also fitness health plans through supplement Medicare health insurances. So as of January, we will not only be offering free memberships to Silver Sneakers members, but also the Fit on Health and the Renew Act.
And this is really important because when I understood what was going on, that some people come January 1 who are doing the Silver Sneakers, that may not be what's available to them.
Right.
And whether they know it or not, may be switched, or they might have to actively switch to those new programs. But we're trying to get ahead of that
Right.
by getting that ready so that when they make that transition, we're able to take that membership
Yes.
as well.
So it has been announced that Highmark members, that Highmark is now going to be participating with Fit on Health, with the Fit on Health program, and not Silver Sneakers. But like Alex said, you don't have to worry about that. We'll be participating in that healthcare program too. So anyone who already uses our facility that has Silver Sneakers and is going to be, because of their health insurance moving to Fit on Health, that transition will be done. They won't have much to do because we're going to be working with Fit on Health. They're going to transfer everybody that's already in our database over. So there won't be much that they have to do other than just confirm that it was transferred over.
As we wrap up our time together, I just want to kind of think it through.
Yeah.
It's been 60 years in Monroeville
Yeah.
that seniors first, by starting organically, privately, as a group of people who thought, we ought to be doing things in our community together
Right.
as seniors, to becoming, it's been about 60 years, right, that you became a part of Municipal.
Yeah, this year
services.
actually in 2025, that'll mark our 45th year
Okay.
being an actual structural building. But probably for about 10 to 15 years prior to that, they were meeting in all different other places, churches and all kinds of
schools,
places,
yeah.
and requesting from municipal council that they wanted a place of their own.
And if I understand, those folks raised money.
Yes.
Kind of as a matching support commitment to the municipality to go ahead and build the Senior Citizen Center at the Gateway campus.
Right, and it's still that way today. So today, I have funds from the municipality, and I also have all the programming done at the center is funded by my board, the Monroeville Council of Senior Citizens. So the municipality helps with like the overall maintenance and structure of the building and the staffing, but all the programming that you see is all funded by the council. So they're all
it's
still
also
part of it.
augmented by revenues generated
Yeah.
from Silver Sneakers
Yes,
and the
that
programs
too.
you just mentioned.
Yeah, that helps with the fitness facility.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so all of those come together to provide what I think is Allegheny County's best senior citizen center. And for Monroeville residents, it's such a addition to a high quality of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been great having you. We could go on and on. I
could.
love visiting your place. Again, I get treated like family there, and everybody in our community, obviously over 50 are welcome, but even others, they find their way there from time to time when you do programs and events.
Yeah, and we got some new plans coming up in January that I can't quite announce yet, but some of
I am really looking
some of
forward
you
to that.
residents that are 30 and above should keep an eye out for what we got coming in the new year. So
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tara, for taking
Yes.
the time to be with us.
Thank you so much for
Thank
inviting me.
you and your staff for all that you do at the Senior Center, and particularly the Senior Council, who also is very involved in heavy lifting to make sure we got great programming here in Monroeville. Thank you.
no, thank you.
Have a great one.
You too.
On the way next, I'll go out on the town to explore the library's Maker Lab. A fun experience you won't want to miss. That and more when we return on Monroeville's At Your Service.
It is my honor to present the A-Man Corner in the line of fire award to Officer Craig Hoon of the Monroeville Police Department.
It's a great honor that we present, in disregard of his own personal safety award, to Sergeant James McDonald of the Monroeville Police Department.
Hello, I'm Alex Graziani, your municipal manager here out on the town in Monroeville. and I'm at the Monroeville Public Library with Alan Rader. Hi, Alan. How are you doing?
Nice to welcome. I take it you're here to take a look at the Maker Lab and see what we offer the community.
We're here today to check out the Maker Lab and to see what it's all about. Alan, you've been with the library for about
5+ years now.
And the Maker Lab itself has been around?
I think about 10. I took over from some great people who ran it and moved on to motherhood and some other careers. So it was great timing.
Well, for me, this is great timing because as soon as I heard about the Maker Lab, I was like, I got to check this place out. And I wanted you to see what it's all about. So Alan, take us on a little tour of what the Maker Lab's about.
We, as a library, believe we are about sharing resources with the community, things that you might not have at home, things you want to try out before you spend the money on them, and or things that you need for about 5 minutes. So whether it's a book, whether it's a DVD, whether it is music, or whether it is something weird like a KitchenAid mixer.
Yeah, I'm like dying to look in here. So this is something you can rent?
Absolutely. Check out for 3 weeks, bake some bread, do whatever you need to do with it, cookies for anybody. We are willing to take them as shares if you're interested.
Wow, this is a real deal KitchenAid.
It is a real deal.
I love it.
Real deal, and we'll even help you carry it out because they are heavy.
So I use the word rent, but they're not, are they for a fee or for free?
Absolutely not. Any Monroeville resident, as a matter of fact, any Allegheny County resident can come in and get a card. We do not charge anything to take any of our materials out. And so you get these for 3 weeks. And if they're here, great. Sometimes if people are worried about if there is one here, give us a call ahead of time and we'll let you know if there's one on the shelf.
There's an empty shelf. Does this mean the coffee makers are gone?
The sewing machines.
Oh.
Sewing machines. So, like tis the season for Halloween costumes.
I
so,
see.
I believe a lot of our sewing machines are out being used to throw together that costume for once a year. Coming up next, you'll see we have what's called the Fabric Bank. This is where if your mom happened to sew and you don't,
she would love this.
And you guys are ready to kind of make some cleaning or things like that, this is a community resource where people can bring in things that they don't need, put them up, and if somebody needs it, they take it. So,
so these are donated. Many of these things are donated
100% donated materials and material, actually.
Yeah.
But it is, we have things like patterns, we have some odd, tools and things like that, thread, anything that you can imagine or you might need for something, give it a shot here if you need just a little bit of it.
So if somebody has at home patterns they've already used, they could donate them here.
Absolutely.
And then people could check them out.
No, and they take them home and use them. But we also have quite a bit of great 80s stuff with shoulder pads in it. So if you are interested in that stuff, feel free to come in and take a look and see if you can spot something from your childhood.
I sense a little sarcasm about the clothing styles of the 80s.
I grew up in the 80s,
yeah, me too.
So I feel completely at home.
Yes, indeed.
In calling it out.
So what do we have over here?
These, again, are other things that you can take out. A lot of these things are candy molds. We have things, icing kits for cookie cutters. There's a great sugar cookie recipe in there, by the way, and it's always great to have that at hand. Looms that people can check out, whether this is just for doing little hats or scarves. I also have a full-on tapestry loom that people can take out if they're interested in kind of the more art end of it.
One of these things in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
So yeah, these are the full looms. So it's a little tabletop loom. We also loan out a whole bunch of tools. For example, how often do you need a stud finder, but who actually wants to buy one? We have them here that you can come in, check it out for 3 weeks. Hopefully you don't need it for 3 weeks, but you get it for 3 weeks. And there are a lot of these tools that are, again, we're providing access to because it's a shared resource. Why would you want to buy a stud finder, and especially a good one, to use it for 20 minutes and then have it filed in your basement somewhere where it will never see the light of day again? So again, that's how we operate in the library. We even have things down there like that's a canning kit. If you want to give home canning
this
a
time
try.
of year, people might be looking at doing some canning. So
now's the season.
Yep.
Yeah. Pickles. If you want to get ready for Picklesburg next year, this is a great shot.
Excellent.
So, and then if you want to come in, we'll show you some of the other great things that we have.
This room is like all kinds of things.
All kinds of toys.
as a kid growing up, my mom loved to sew, so a lot of this looks familiar, but I didn't get a chance to use it. It was sort of like no touch kind of stuff. So what do we got going on in here?
What we have going on in here are some of our really big and or sometimes both expensive pieces of equipment. So I'll start over here right behind you, Alex. This is a embroidery machine. This allows us to do any type of pattern that we can create on the computer. We can load over here, and then we can sew patches. We can sew that directly on pieces of fabric, whatever you want. The great thing with this machine is it actually works with multiple colors of thread. You just have to change the thread with it.
So this patch was made here?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow, excellent.
So what happens is if you take the class, we do have a very small fee for our class that just covers the materials. So for example, we have aprons that patrons are allowed to make as part of taking the class.
Nice.
This is what you get at the end of the class. So we teach you how to do this on our machine, and you get to make a customized apron when you leave the class.
And the next time when the class, next time you come in, you don't need to take a class.
Correct. You take the class the first time. Once you've taken the class, then you're allowed to book time to come back in and use any of the equipment that's in here that you've taken the class on. This is not a cheap piece of equipment.
No, not at all.
And being able to use this is great. So a lot of our patrons very much they come into the library to get a book. They come in to borrow a movie. Yes. They come in to borrow music and or use our internet. Use the computers, use a printer, use our fax machine. All of this stuff we provide as access to the community, and we just see this room as an extension of that.
So what else do we got here?
This guy is a laser cutter and engraver. So this allows us to cut woods and plastics, certain plastics that are non-toxic. Leather, anything like that. I could put my cat's face on a piece of toast if I really wanted to. So we can do a whole lot of.
Similarly, you're using a computer to generate it and then sending the file here to cut it.
Absolutely, and that's a really good question because the computer software that we use works for all of this equipment. And we provide access to that software. It is not cheap software. So we have it on our public machines out there for you to use, as well as to learn and to come in here and mess around with. So back to this. So once you take the class, you book the time. We don't charge you to use the time. We're a library. Use the equipment. You get to come in and use the equipment however you need to use it. I'm here to help. Okay. So that is one of the nice things is you're not flying solo with any of this stuff. Once you and I are to the point where I know you know what you're doing and nobody's going to get hurt or any of the equipment's going to get damaged, I have a whole other set of hours that I open up and let you come in without supervision.
So people would schedule, if it's free, some time. So I see a number of mediums here like metal, wood.
Aluminum, wood, leather, anything that is pretty much safe to set on fire, we can put in here that's less than ½ an inch. So that's bamboo, but again, wood. So it works really well.
In case of an emergency, keep calm and eat chocolate. I really like that. I could have this all over the place in my office.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's very handy to have. Very handy to have.
Leather.
Leather, 100%. Yeah. So there's a lot of, like I said, and if you come in to take the class, this one, instead of the apron, you actually get a spoon.
Oh, very nice.
So that's what everybody gets a spoon to go home with. That's just one of our examples that we use.
So instead of cutting, it's just
engraving.
Engraving it in there.
Or if you think grew up with the Boy Scouts with the wood burner, this is much more precise version of that. I
could never do this in a million years with wood burner. Yeah.
Right, neither could I. Yeah. But that's the great thing with this machine is that it is meant to do that. So we can use this to cut a lot of stuff. We also have crickets. These are for doing whether you're cutting shapes out of fabric, whether you're cutting shapes out of cardstock or paper or anything like that. They actually got their start in scrapbooking, and then they kind of went off the deep end, which is great for us because we can actually do like iron-on patches with this kind of thing.
Now I'm finally getting it. So the spelling of it is C-R-I-C-U-T. That's the cricket. Okay. I thought it was a bug maker.
Yeah.
And then I thought it might be a cell phone something.
Yeah.
But no, it's a cut.
But they do. I will admit, 100%, they do have the antenna on the logo. So
tremendous.
You got it. But anyway, so we can use this machine to cut, and then we also have access to a very nice heat press here. So if you are doing a t-shirt and you don't have to use your little home iron to do it, you certainly can come in and use this. And we have the adapters to do the mugs and the hats and other things like that. So a lot of what you can do with this is you can certainly take one home and use it, because like we said, we do check these out, but a lot of people will come back because they want access to this guy.
I think I'm going to have to make a Monroeville at your service.
Absolutely.
Something,
we'll hook you up. We can hook you
get
up
some
with that.
swag for the show.
And then last but not least is the one that we're actually doing a lot of classes on right now, which is one of our most popular ones, is right over here. This is our long arm quilting machine. This machine is specifically designed for the purpose of putting together a quilt in the last stages, where you have the back of a quilt, you've got the fuzzy middle or batting, and then you have the top. And this machine is meant to come in and it stitches all three of those pieces together. The great thing about this machine is it will hold a queen size quilt.
Nice.
At one shot. And it also is a smart enough machine, it will sew for you. So I can put in a pattern and it knows where to stop, where to start, and everything else it will sew automatically, and then you move it from one space to the next so you can do the pattern across an entire quilt.
I see this thing's got like grips and all kinds of
Absolutely. The weird, like it takes a little bit of getting used to with this machine. Yeah, you can move it, you're not going to hurt it.
Okay.
This machine is...
It's not anchored down, so I'm not
No,
ripping
it's
anything.
not. No, you're good. The thing that takes a lot of people a little getting used to is when you're sewing at home, you move the thing. When you're sewing here, the machine moves.
Excellent.
What you're sewing stays
Yeah, I
put.
mean, and it's got the joystick buttons and everything.
Right.
It's almost, even
so
if
yeah,
you're not
so
into it, it looks
I
fine.
took a pattern and I want to put a pattern right here. So I've already programmed this in. So I can tell it to go ahead and quilt that little piece. So it's going to connect up, and then it's going to come in, and it's going to go to where it wants to start. And you can watch this guy. It's going to go ahead and quilt that patch for me. So we can either do it piece by piece, like I'm doing this one, or we can do one where it's a pattern that goes across the whole quilt at one time. So when we book time for this, it's usually about 2 hours, because it takes a good bit to get it set up and get it started and everything else. Once it's set up, then it's great to go.
This is a tremendous resource, and I can imagine once more people find out about it, you might have trouble scheduling.
We already do. So we're looking at, like ways of, like I said, that's where I have that second set of hours of once you get good enough that I don't have to be looming over anybody. It makes it much easier for people to have access to this.
Why does it not surprise me that the librarian's got a lot of puns? We've already used 2 so far, so this is great.
I can't help it. It's part of our training. So any other questions that I can answer about the Maker Lab?
Well, there's just all kinds of things here. So, like, where do I start? Do you just encourage people to...
Absolutely. All of our classes are listed on the website.
Okay.
And if you have trouble or don't have access to the website, feel free to give a call to the front desk. We will tell you when the classes are. You book online. Once you book online, I cover everything else once you come in.
Just for adults, or you got anything for kids?
For kids, we have robot petting zoos. So for once or twice a week, we have either after story time or before story time, we set the robots out in one of the rooms and let the kids come in and play. So there's a lot of them are coding robots.
Okay,
a lot
so this
of them
is the
are
guy
fantastic.
here.
Yep, that's one of them. That's one of them. That's a Kinderbot, I think, is that one. And then we have all different levels. So whether it is, the very, very simple ones where it's just little magnetic pieces that a young one puts together, or these ones which secretly teach coding, which is a really great thing to do. So but without actually leaning in and saying we're telling anybody we're teaching them anything. So
play is a great introduction to learning. And if you can get toys that have an outcome like that, it's
amazing. And it's also, again, one of those things where we have a whole bunch of different levels of this. So for somebody to have each one of these for their own kids is a little crazy. So it's nice to be able to come into a room full of them and let your kids pick what they want to pick that week. Because we all know how kids are. They'll start with one and then they're going to move on to another one and another one and another one. So it's really nice to have a shared resource that you can come in and let your kids have fun.
Well, Alan, this has been delightful. I had no idea when I came to Monroeville how much could be at a library. Been using libraries all my life, but have never seen what we're doing here. From the loaning out of tools to the fabric bank, which is a tremendous idea, and all of this in the Maker Lab. What a resource. I know for one, it's hesitant I'm hesitant to get into something because the entry fee is kind of high. Like I think, oh, well, maybe we'll do some canning. And when you see how much stuff costs,
Right.
you kind of, what a resource for people to come here and give it a try.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to show me all this stuff, and I can't wait to sign up for a class and
Excellent.
check that out a little more.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming.
Anytime. I really enjoyed my time with Alan at the Monroeville Library's Maker Lab. There's so much that you can do there, and we just really scratched the surface. I invite everybody to go out and check it out and see what they might be able to do. Coming up next, a look back to Halloween and our Trail of Treats event. Plus, this month's Manager's Minute on the importance of budgeting. Back to wrap things up on Monroeville at your service in just a moment. Welcome back to the show. Our annual Trail of Treats event is a play on the traditional trick or treat, where people go through the neighborhood. Instead, the kids walk along the trail at the Community Park West to get their treats. Mix in a costume contest and our Recreation and Parks Department's flair to throw a fantastic family fun event, and this is what you get.
Halloween spirit can be spotted easily here at Trail of Treats today. This event will feature a costume contest, multiple decorated trunks, and a story time presented by the Monroeville Public Library. Let's go check it out.
Come on, let's go! We definitely wanted to encompass the movie Inside Out.
Happy Halloween. Thanks for coming, everybody.
It's a really fun community space to get people out in the park, enjoy the beautiful weather. So definitely a fun community event and a good day.
We've had a great time. We loved walking over the trail and getting all the goodies and the candy, huh?
Yeah.
We liked seeing all the spooky decorations, huh? We got treats and s'mores, and we've just had a really good time. Parks and Rec does a great job putting together a fun festivity for everyone in the community.
Did you get a lot of candy?
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of candy? Did you get that?
Lollipop. I like that how you got to go to cars and you get to pick candy out of it. It was really fun.
What was your favorite car?
Mario Kart.
We just did Mario Kart. My kids love Mario Kart and just thought that the other kids would enjoy that as well.
It's actually a fun event that we've come to since we've been in this area.
I like the skeleton animals.
Yeah.
I love that the kids love the trunk or treat, and if you've never been, it's honestly a very good event to come to.
I just really appreciate all of the programming that the Monroeville Parks and Rec gives for Monroeville, for my small children, for our family, for our friends. And so when I saw that this was available, we just really wanted to see that we could be a part of it too.
I like the marshmallows.
But s'mores was definitely good.
I like the skeleton pendants too. Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween!
Say Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween!
As you can see, many community members enjoyed this year's event. Congratulations to the participants and the winners of the costume and the trunk competition. It's been another spooky yet successful year of Trail of Treats. I'm Carson Berg with Monroeville Municipal Television.
Time for the interactive portion of the program. Don't forget, you can get involved with our show by submitting your questions to our TV department. Questions will be answered here in the show. We have one question, and it comes from TJ, and she wants to know, what is the process to having speed bumps put on a road? Tilbrook Road constantly has people flying up and down it. Speed bumps or some other deterrent similar to Logan's Ferry or Saunders Station near the Heritage Park would be helpful, especially with the community parks being on that road. Well, TJ, I love that question. I'll give you the formal answer and a personal answer. First of all, back about 2008, the council adopted a resolution whereby they permitted residents to petition council for a traffic calming study to be done. Traffic calming is a way of saying we want to lower, if you will, the speed of the cars and create for safe, walkable and bikeable environments. And I encourage every neighborhood to petition us, and we will do a study and determine whether traffic calming techniques can be applied, the feasibilities of those application, and the timing and all that, and the cost as well. And that's the formal answer. And I think on our side, we could be doing our own studies as we have roads like Tilbrook, and we could look at them. But on a personal side, I could tell you this. About 28 years ago, my 6-year-old son was hit by a vehicle right in front of our house. He suffered a life-impairing traumatic brain injury and spent about 5 months in a hospital. And I learned a lot through that. My wife and I were young parents, not even in our mid-20s. And it was a devastating time in our lives. But it really made me committed to seeing the need for safe streets and the need for neighborhoods to be places where little kids, pedestrians, people with disabilities, elderly, and anyone can be able to get around safely. Unfortunately, in suburbs like Monroeville, they've been built around the automobile. And it seems that that which is to be our servant, the car, has become our master. And we live subjected to high-speeding drivers driving a bit recklessly through our communities. For example, not stopping completely at stop signs or obeying a posted speed limit. So I can tell you, as long as I'm municipal manager here in Monroeville, I'm committed to the concept of the safe streets, not only for the pedestrian and all of the different age groups that pedestrians are represented, and the bicyclists, but also to vehicles. Thousands of people in our country are injured, and some die due to automobile accidents. So it's really a critical issue. So I want to do all I can to encourage safe streets, and I want to encourage you to petition council. Ask us to do a study, and we'll see what feasible traffic calming techniques we can implement. Together, we can make Monroeville have safe streets. For this month's Manager's Minute, I tackle the importance of municipal budgeting. Municipal budgeting is one of the most critical processes for any local government because it directly affects the quality of services provided to the community. A well-planned budget helps ensure that public funds are used efficiently, transparently, and in ways that reflect the priorities of the residents. First and foremost, the budget sets the financial plan for the year. It outlines how Monroeville will collect and spend money, from tax revenue and grants to service fees. A sound budget helps ensure that essential services like public safety, road maintenance, and sanitation are adequately funded to meet Monroeville's needs. It also allocates resources to important areas such as parks, recreation, economic development, libraries, Senior Citizens Center, and contribute to a higher quality of life. The budgeting process isn't just about accounting, it's a reflection of the community's values. Monroeville's leaders work closely with stakeholders, including residents, department heads, and elected officials to identify key priorities. This ensures that spending aligns with strategic goals, such as improving infrastructure, enhancing public safety, or fostering sustainable development. By prioritizing projects based on available funds, Monroeville can manage its limited resources effectively, balancing immediate needs with long-term investments. Another key role of the budget is to ensure financial accountability. Through careful planning and regular review, the municipality can avoid deficits, ensure debt is managed responsibly, and maintain a strong credit rating. This financial discipline is essential not only for stability but also for maintaining public trust. When residents see their tax dollars are being used wisely, it strengthens their confidence in our local government. Finally, our Monroeville budget serves as a tool for transparency. A clear, well-documented budget provides citizens with insight into how funds are being spent. Public hearings and reviews allow residents to participate in the process, offering feedback, suggestions. This openness encourages civic engagement and helps ensure the budget reflects Monroeville's collective interests. In summary, our budgeting is crucial because it ensures that public funds are used effectively, supports the community's priorities, and fosters financial accountability, and promotes transparency. It's the foundation of sound governance and critical to the well-being and growth of any municipality. To learn more about the Monroeville budget, you can go online to monroeville.pa.us and download the proposed version of the 2025 budget. In December, Council will be voting to adopt that budget. Again, the plan for the 2025 priorities. Thank you. I appreciate your time that you're giving to looking at our budget. Remember, we're back here each month with another edition of Monroeville at your service. Find our show on cable TV locally, channels 21 on Comcast and 45 on Verizon. On our YouTube channel, you'll find archived versions of each show as well as individual segments posted. Go on YouTube and search Monroeville TV to find, like, and subscribe to our page. However you found our show today, thanks for watching. Remember, the title of our show represents my belief we have as local government, Monroeville at your service. We'll see you next time.